Joining us now today is from our Facebook partner, the property manager of the Orchard Mall, Kelly Woodley, back with us on the Oakland County MegaCast. Kelly, how are you today?
I'm good, Tyler. How are you guys doing?
Doing all right. How have things been at the Orchard Mall? It's been a little while since we've last spoken. Businesses were still partially shut down at the time. A lot of curbside service. Now businesses have been allowed to reopen. How are things going at the Orchard Mall? How are they faring at this current time, and how have they recovered since being able to reopen?
Well, things are definitely changing, and our retailers, I can say, are doing an amazing job at rolling with all the punches and moving from one step to the next. And they do an amazing job at making it look seamless and flawless. So it's been tough, but I think we have some of the toughest business owners out there. So they're doing a great job. Our Planet Fitness still remains closed, as well as Yoga Shelter and True Martial Arts. They're not until this next phase. Once Governor Whitmer moves us to the next phase, hopefully we'll get our gym operators open. But until then, there are some virtual options for fitness. Yoga Shelter is doing virtual classes, True Martial Arts virtual classes. Fuse 45 has taken it to the next level, and their clients are joining them in our parking lot for some really fun and outdoor parking lot fitness classes. So I think that's great and commendable. And then most of our other retailers have opened. They're opened shorter hours, but they're in there and they're ready to see all of their customers again. There are some great sales that can be found at this time. I would suggest calling ahead. Some have altered their hours, but they're doing their best, and they've put the appropriate safety measures in place so that they're ready. They're ready to see everyone again. So
Kelly Woodley with us, Kelly Woodley with us, the property manager at the Orchard Mall, with us on the Oakland County MegaCast. Kelly, this week, the governor's new executive order requiring mask wearing in all indoor places and outdoor crowded places as well went into effect. Having an enclosed mall as yours is, and having multiple entrances, multiple businesses, different kinds of businesses, that's got to be challenging to navigate those new rules and enforce those new rules, both as a mall being its own individual facility in total, and each of these businesses being their own business individually as well. How are Orchard Mall and its businesses coping with that and dealing with that to make sure that if someone's going into one business, leaving, going back into the general mall area, going into another business, that at all times they are following this rule?
Mm-hmm. Tyler, I'm glad that you asked, because I have brought with me today some of my favorite masks. I bought this one yesterday at Guys and Gals. I have several here. So how have we managed? Like I said before, our operators are amazing, and there are masks for sale at a lot of our businesses. I think this is a very cool thing that I got there, that, now it's an accessory. It's not just a requirement. There are ways to make it fun, and that's what we're doing. We're also enforcing the masks, because at Orchard Mall, health and safety has always been number one for us. We recognize that in order to see all of our friends again, we have to do our part to keep everyone safe. So masks are required to enter the mall. We have staff policing the common areas. And then once you're inside and you're headed to the store of your choice, most of the retailers are keeping their doors locked so that a staff member from their establishment will greet you at the door. Many of them have hand sanitizer available at the door so that you have an added opportunity to cleanse your hands before you're coming in and touching some of the products there. We have 2 salons at Orchard Mall, and they have both instituted the temperature check at the door and a short survey. They're using our common areas for an added waiting area, and they have the 6 feet of separation out in the common areas so that there's a little bit more space for people to spread out. So it is a challenge, and I think that some people aren't as excited about the masks, and generally what we're seeing at Orchard Mall is, thankfully, people are taking the mask seriously and being respectful, and we're very grateful for that, because it's you may be healthy, but someone else may not have as strong of an immunity, and it's not just for you, it's for your neighbor. And luckily, we've we've had a lot of luck at Orchard Mall with that so far. So it's been going okay.
Kelly, for those that have never been to Orchard Mall, you have such a large variety of shops and businesses there that maybe a normal Somerset or something like that wouldn't have. How does that pose different challenges to try to accommodate those different businesses? And do people need appointments to go into some of these stores?
You don't necessarily need appointments, but we would encourage them. We would encourage everyone to check out the Orchard Mall Facebook page, Instagram page. You can see a lot of our announcements there. All of the stores have their own social media, their own websites. You can call them, you can send them messages on their social media. They've all done a really great job of connecting with their clients that way. They'll let you virtually shop if you're not comfortable coming in. Then they'll deliver to your house. They'll do curbside pickup. I can't stress enough how accommodating our businesses have been. And, you know, we are different than a larger scale Somerset and 12 Oaks. And we like that. We think that's what sets us apart and what lets us have a more intimate and personal connection with our shopper. So I think it works to our benefit in some way.
Kelly Woodley with us. She's the property manager of the Orchard Mall. With us on the Oakland County MegaCast. Kelly, a lot of your businesses were shut down in the initial portions of the pandemic and even through until phase 4 when they were able to reopen their doors and restart again. With the recent spike in coronavirus cases, are there any concerns amongst your businesses and at the mall that a second shutdown of these businesses could mean for both the Orchard Mall and for a lot of these individual owned businesses as well?
Sure, it's definitely scary. I think it's scary for all of us because I don't know about you, but I have not lived through a pandemic, and it's hard to predict what is to come. But I think, you know, we're taking the challenge in stride, and all we're trying to do is encourage people to prepare. We're encouraging our businesses to prepare. If that shutdown comes, like I said, they have been very adaptive and have found ways to continue to connect with the community on social media through these virtual shopping appointments. So yeah, there is some fear of another shutdown, but we're in prepare mode. I think like everyone else, we're taking the added cleaning measures very seriously. The masks we're taking very seriously because that's the last thing that we want is another shutdown. But if it has to happen to keep everyone safe, we're gonna prepare and we're gonna do it right and we're gonna get everyone through it.
Kelly, we saw an article today about an organization, particularly for bars and restaurants and so on, that are going to be holding classes in the next few weeks virtually to help businesses train their staffs for de-escalating situations, particularly in regards to mask-wearing laws in their stores. We know that the Orchard Mall has a really good relationship, a really strong relationship with the local West Bloomfield Police Department. And have they been helpful? How have they been helpful in training both your staff and the staff of these individual stores to be prepared for situations like that, or to prepare themselves best for enforcing the mask law on the first stage before it ever would have to go to local law enforcement?
That's one thing that we're very grateful for in the West Bloomfield community. We have an excellent relationship with both the police department and the fire department, and they have made themselves incredibly available to us by way of these megacasts. They'll answer any phone call, any email that I have, that the business owners have. They're extremely responsive and educated, and I'm grateful for that because I think the education is what will take us a step further. And I think, you know, in this current climate, some people, you know, emotions are high and some people are getting frustrated, and we all have our own opinions. But I think that education is what will help us to get through. I think I would encourage people, maybe before you get angry with someone for not wearing a mask, maybe consider they're not educated enough. And I think the more that we can roll out these educational programs, the better position we'll all be in.
Kelly, anything else you'd like to touch on today, or any other important information that the community should know before we let you go?
You know, I just would close with saying, I assure you we've done everything we can at Orchard Mall to keep it clean and safe, and our retailers are doing an amazing job. Obviously, keeping our economy going is going to be important. For those of you that are comfortable and well enough to leave your home, I assure you we've created a safe place for you to be. Our retailers look forward to seeing you. Our restaurants are open and clean, so we're ready for you. So I welcome everyone back, and I wish everyone the best in their own personal health and safety as we all work through this.
Well, Kelly, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thanks, Tyler. Nice to see you again.
And nice to see you too. Kelly Woodley, the property manager at the Orchard Mall, with us on the Oakland County MegaCast.